Hi, welcome to Free Spirit and welcome to a special quick spirit message and tip called the most magical thing. The most magical thing is receiving your own quote unquote spiritual evidence. And what is so magical about even sharing this spirit message tip with you is that this was actually written out before I did this reading where these two cards came out. So if you look on the channel and if you saw the overall weekly, the most recent, these two cards came out, and I said in the intro, I wrote out a spirit message tip I did not have time to share, and then these two cards came out. And then I went back and said, oh gosh, okay, now I have to share the spirit message tip that I wrote out before. That is called the most magical thing is receiving your own spiritual evidence. I mean, you cannot make this up. So it only lends more to this message. It only puts an exclamation mark on this message itself. All right, so with that said, I'm going to tell you about the most magical thing, the spirit message tip that I had written out before we even got these two cards out in the reading. And then I mentioned in the intro that I wrote out. Okay, so like everything that I put on the channel, it will all be in the description box if you ever want to read it besides hearing it. And your whole soul is going to be like, yes, 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 anyway, when you hear what this message is. But the quote unquote, the most magical thing is receiving your own spiritual evidence, quote unquote, your own spiritual evidence. Now, I say spiritual evidence all the time, but this is literally the most magical thing is receiving your own spiritual evidence. It is not what someone else says or what comes to you in the form of outside knowledge that is necessarily going to blow you away. Spirit-wise, right? It's going to be what you get directly and almost play out for you, almost personally, that will. Where you receive for yourself, quote unquote, spiritual evidence. So if you get an idea or a kernel of wisdom to apply and use, and you follow through, you can be amazed. Even if you never share what just happened to another, for you personally, the results will blow you away. If you feel guided to something and voila, there it is, appearing before you again, you will be and feel blown away. Kind of similar, the order of what just happened. Many, many, many times. There will be many, many, many times. You cannot even put into words to describe that which you will find as spiritual evidence that will blow you away. This is between you and spirit. This is between you and divine. Don't discount what you get. This is the major crux of it. Do not discount what you personally get. Follow through and see for yourself spiritual evidence. You know how I always say you gather your own spiritual evidence. You're like your own spiritual scientist, right? They're saying you do not wait for another to see it too, or approve, or give you permission, or some kind of influence to give it value or not. You know it's invaluable. You do not need to wait for another to declare how magical it is for you. You know it's magical. You know it's divine. There is nothing more magical than your own spiritual evidence. It can feel like breadcrumbs on your path to follow. It can feel like it's lighting the way for you inside and out. And when followed, it's the most magical path lit up for you. Positively littered with divine support all along the way. Now, when you get divine ideas or creativity, you know what that is. Pure inspiration. So you turn it on full blast and let it carry you. You do not turn down the faucet of inspiration, but you trust the flow and go. Where it carries you is divine in action, and where it takes you, you discover is right along where your best self wants to go, giving you support not just in that direction, but with the stream of insight, ideas, and brilliance needed for the tasks. It can almost feel like beyond you. Well, it is. Following through, seeing where it leads, only adds to your own spiritual evidence, the most magical thing. You will get signs, symbols, messages. You will get insight, ideas, wisdom. You will get divine help, love, support, backing. It comes in all forms down just for you to get, landing for you as your own spiritual evidence. The most magical thing. That was it. The most magical thing. So I wrote this out. It was 444 on the video when I finished. It is 444 you who's watching all the time. Also, what was miraculous and the most magical thing was that was written before I did the reading. And if you watch the reading where these two cards came out, I said in the intro, I wrote out a spirit message tip that I didn't have time to share on the channel. So the Magician, surrender to the magic of who you are. You're going to always seek relief from stress, plug back out of the world and into them, and stay plugged into this, because they're really plugging you in to be this manifestor magician, powerful magician. Know what's backing you here, and to know, remember, you are a magical being with a uniqueness and a worth that come from just being you, and you who's watching is the divine channel of that, right? And things will magically appear for you. They're empowering you, and they're also giving you everything that I said in that spirit message and more all along the way, to help you as you go. And there are no words for that, but like they said, besides what I'm even saying, because I'm in that beginning where it says it doesn't matter what someone else is telling you, what you read, what you hear, knowledge from outside you. The most magical thing is receiving your own spiritual evidence, right? And so what they're personally giving to you is going to be priceless. And this is just a big exclamation mark to everything that's been coming out. So that was the spirit message tip. The most magical thing is receiving your own spiritual evidence. Take care. Bye-bye.